Well, I'm going to talk about specific things starting in December of 2024. We're going to talk about Trump, what that's going to bring, what's going to actually happen in December, something that's really going to be prevalent that kicks off something really important coming up, and basically where this information came from, Edgar Cayce. I've been doing a little research on him, and I wanted to see what he had predicted and what he thought. I'm going to share that with you, and I want to present to you what it's going to do for us. Yes, for us. And what I mean, I'm not talking political here. I'm talking about what does that mean for humanity in general. Are you ready for this? It's all good. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I hope you'll subscribe. It sends the message to YouTube that you prefer positive channels, words of empowerment and peace, because AI knows everything that I'm saying. And so if you're watching negativity, you are programming the matrix, not just YouTube, the matrix. Why? Whatever we focus on and entangle with, we create. Even if you do it for entertainment, it's still a choice over something else that would be more peaceful and self-empowering in a positive manner. It's all choice. You can't make a mistake except for one thing. Cause and effect is always in play. Free will allows you to do whatever you want. However, what you learn from that, wonderful things could come from it. It depends on what you do with it. We're going to talk today about that whole election process, what's going on. All right, so before I get started, Digital Explorers, if you're entrepreneurial, come on over. We're doing planet conscious things. We're creating things with you that will help you to own your own business online, because we're going to go into an era where your independence and your ability to execute change within your own power is going to be very important. This might just be the ticket for some of you. So saying that, I want you to understand that everything that happens on this planet is a result of the frequency of the creators, you and I. Every person on the planet is a creator. We have free will, and as I just shared with you, your ability to focus on something actually entangles and creates that reality. It will facilitate something, just like prayers can facilitate healing. You cannot infringe on somebody's free will, because no matter how much you try to, they still have their own free will and choices. We don't want to do that, because that's ego, wanting others to be different or think like they do, or that we know what's best for everybody else. And it is an individual thing, which brings me to Edgar Cayce predicted a very controversial leader coming into power in the United States, that it would bring great divide and great change. Now, we have seen this going on throughout Trump's history in politics, and that this would be a person, Edgar Cayce said, that did not come from the traditional background. In other words, Trump was never a politician. Well, people with power are politicians up to a certain point, but not in our government. He was in real estate and all kinds of other things. He was an investor. So I want to discuss this prediction that he made, because December of 2024 is supposedly a true kickoff. It's been happening. Nothing just happens like that. It's always happening. It's always in motion. But 2024 December, because we are aware of the choices that were made by the collective here in the United States, we are now going to shift gears depending on what our own thoughts and beliefs are and our own frequency. And that is happening primarily in December and will continue on through 2025 until we start to hit more golden times. Why we talk about any kind of turmoil or things happening, let me explain. Maybe this will put you at ease. Without tests or controversy, there is no opportunity for choice to choose a higher frequency, to be the change maker. When we have illnesses, what do people do? They go to bat to try and cure it. If there's no illness, there's nobody trying to cure anything. That's all it is. So what Trump is going to bring in is both the opportunity to come into unity or take sides of conflict, because it's going to present both sides very dramatically. And so you can choose whether or not you are the change maker of this positive new golden era. We talk about the feminine coming in, that it's a kinder, more loving, community-based era. Now we do know that April of 2026, that we're going to have something pretty amazing coming in. It's when certain things align over the pyramids. The Sphinx in particular, the Red Star Regulus, supposedly aligns exactly over the Sphinx, and supposedly some big feminine era is going to kick off. It's going to be noticeable. So we're going to talk more about that as we get up on that date. But as of right now, I want you to know that no matter what happens in your life, that it's an opportunity to now go into the golden era here. We now have the opportunity to go inside, because this is where the power is to place it out here and affect really massive, positive, spiritual change. We are now discovering our powers, our psychic abilities, our ability to control our own reality and events. We're discovering this is real, and we're going to start to use it more and more and more. You're seeing it now. It's going to become a big deal, because when people lose control in the material world, they very often become introspective. You guys has probably saw the video where I said that there is a planned exit strategy. That's happening frequently now. Deaths, unexpected. Divorces, we're seeing even animals leaving, which might change your behavior or what you do in your life. Job changes, there are opportunities coming in, and so you will be in a position to either go into fear because you want to hang on to what you know or what you've been told, or you're going to make that choice to step into something that is not conventional, but you know is going to, let's just say, contribute towards the positive change here and out there. This is why I devised Digital Explorers, and there's a lot of fear out there with people saying, oh gosh, this is really different, can I do this? And my answer to you is you can do anything. If you remain in fear, you will do nothing. You will just be in fear, and that's how you're going to live. Change cannot happen unless you make the choice and you go into the higher frequency. Will take you into a new era that's amazing, and nothing happening in this next year or 4 years, if you are not happy with the decision the United States made, it doesn't matter, because you are in control of your own reality. You could flourish amazingly. You do not have to get involved in conflict. You do not have to argue with people. You don't have to watch the news and the media that's negative and all the fighting and arguing going on. Step away from that and start to create. This is the creative space that must happen in order for us to affect the positive change. It's still up in the air. Now I'll give you some predictions that were made. I wanted to see what it was because I think it's very funny. I told you that I don't watch all that stuff out there. But when I'm going to shoot a video, I like to get a handle on what people are saying so that I can reflect it back to you of how really ridiculous it is that people feel that they can predict something in stone. So everything I tell you, I'm telling you that there's always a choice in it, that these things are presented as opportunities for your choice and change in your reality. There's nothing that's going to happen that just happens to you and you have no control over it. It can be further from the truth. It's all about the choice and change. So when you see predictions, just remember, what's the choice in there for me so that I can choose what you envision All right, and this is Edgar Cayce's message, is that you will get to choose whether you go into conflict or whether you go into peace or get entrenched in material world or go introspective into that massive quantum field where when you step past the fear and you step past the blocks, what do? You go into a space of great manifestation powers, the ones that you want. If you're always in that space, but if you have boulders of beliefs, you are manifesting those negative beliefs. This is when you got to work especially hard if you struggle with the chatter mind, is to step away from negativity. All right? I can tell when people predict things and say stuff, they're always coming from their own negative thoughts. All right, now they can see things. It's not that Edgar Cayce, had negative thoughts and that's why he's predicting, earthquakes and cataclysms. He was just predicting the planetary shifts, of course, that did not happen. They're just now starting to kick in. So one thing I was told by a really gifted psychic was they can't tell time. That when they see things, they don't always know exactly when that is. They have to go by how old people are in the vision or whatever else is happening around them. So sometimes these guys will be way off with their time depending on their personal ability to predict that. What I want you to know is I saw the greatest psychic on the planet, the most talented astrologer, and they all said completely different things. One said that Trump was going to be in sessions 2 more times. That would make him pushing 90. I don't even think that's allowed here in the U.S. He already did 2 terms. I think that's the max you can do. I don't know if it's consecutive or not. I'll put it up here if I find that information. Also, one said that he wouldn't make it in office, that he would, exit or not be well. So all over the board predictions, so unlike each other. They weren't even close. And this was consistently not consistent. How is that? Why is that? Because we're creating it. So people will pick up on a specific reality that does exist. All probabilities exist. We've got to get past this. There's one thing or one way or one future. It's all malleable. It's all being created at this moment. You are in control of it, and it is time for you to create it. That's what this new era is going to present. So if you're going into fear, all you can say is instead of, if you feel like, if Harris came in, we'd be okay, she would take care of things. You are now going to have to make some personal choices to make your own changes and say, I can't rely on the government. Whether I like this or I don't like this, I still have to start making changes, because if there is conflict going on or arguments, whatever happens, I still have to do my part and create my own reality, because nobody outside of you is going to do that. And this is going to emphasize that more and more and more. December is a highly transformational period of going into spirituality and self-discovery of our given manifestation powers. And I don't mean I'm going to get a car, I'm going to get a where. I'm talking about I am creating everything in my life. I'm creating that reality according to what I desire. I'm creating that reality according to what I give this community. And it could be the most amazing time period of your life. You are that important. That's why you came here. This is why we came here. Without these massive shakeups, we don't get to change the planet. This is the time period when we get to change our behaviors and beliefs into what we want to create moving forward. And it's all fair game right now, okay? I don't see a negative. I see a lot of small things happening all over the place. Those are constant opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. Challenges, tests. Openings, opportunities. I'm going to say that 100 times, because every situation in your life is purposeful. Everything has divine purpose. So things are planted purposely here for all of us to continually have to make choices. You can't sit in your living room and watch the world go by. That's a choice too. It's complacency, and that is not evolving into a higher frequency. So therefore, you will most likely have to come back and back and back and back. And if you don't want that, do your absolute best to step away from negativity, separation, judgment, right and wrong, thinking somebody else can save you or us, no matter who that is. I want you to step back and say, how can I affect the positive change? Because when I start that, my life will change and everybody else's around me. Respect of free will. And also, I have a no tolerance zone. I've told you before, people will act different ways. I saw during the hurricane people acting in ways that surprised me. It gave me an opening to see who they are, because you don't know who people are until they're tested. Are they going to be the giving person, or are they going to be the, taking care of yourself? You ever seen a Seinfeld episode where George goes to a party to impress his girlfriend, and it's a kid's party, and there's a fire, and somebody screams fire at the house, and he's knocking everybody over to get out the door, right? He's trying to show how, what a loving, wonderful person he is. But, it was that moment that they called fire when he was mowing the date's mom down and knocked the clown down and pushing the kids out of the way, that you found out who George was, a fearful person. Don't let that be you. You're going to be tested, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I want you to start looking at it differently, saying, I have a different path to take. It might not be anything you imagine. You might end up earning money a completely different way. Those of you who want to create that, come on over. This is free. Find out what it's about. Start exploring. Start trying. Start going outside of your comfort zone and realizing it's actually more comfortable there than it is here in fear and clinging to whatever you've got. Invest in yourself, not just financially, but invest in everything you do to become smarter, more knowledgeable, more giving. Invest in all of these actions. Invest in meditation. I don't mean financial, I mean just invest your time and start to clear it out. It's going to take practice, and once you go into that zone, you will now function on a higher frequency going forward, and these things that are happening around, not only will you not be paying attention to them because you're not watching that stuff, that garbage, but you'll be creating something really amazing, and opportunities and people will come out. I'm in the middle of moving. You'll probably see my background starting to change a little, and I have to tell you something, that the energy shift here is so different. I could have stayed over there at the other place, and I chose not to. I thought maybe I'm supposed to move. I had some signs, right? And so I moved. Is it a pain? Yes, I can't stand moving. It's a hassle, but I'm also cleaning out even more. I didn't think that was possible, but I'm cleaning out more. I'm giving away more. I'm paring down to what I really need. The energy is changing. I'm looking here at the water right now directly. I'm right on it. It's beautiful. And the energy here is different, and everyone here is so nice. It's such a positive environment. Not that the other place wasn't wonderful, but we had a lot of tourists coming and going. I didn't know we had short-term rentals, so we had a different mentality coming in and out. We're here to have a good time and not caring about anybody else. That's really what was going on. And me having to be around that was sort of like living at a resort. So the energy here has shifted because that's not allowed here. These are all residents. And so I realized that even where you live, your job, what you learn, everything's going to shift your energy. Do that. Explore. You can't make a mistake. It will always lead you to something better, because you're telling the universe this or better, this or more, this or what, and it says yes. Okay, we'll give you this and better. And it continues to expand because you're saying, I'm okay with more. It's not like, oh, I want this and I have to stay with this. And it's like more, expand, expand, expand. My students in Digital Explorers, they're expanding and they love it. They're feeling different. They're realizing they're thinking different. They're going into spaces where, wow, this and what else? Now what else can I do? And let's explore it. And we earn online. Our whole premise is to take all these amazing things and earn online doing good things, so we can create a way of living that is productive and positive. You have all kinds of choices right now. So get ready for a very positive December. I'm going to talk again about this because we're going into it very quickly. And So just understand that you're here for a reason. And those of you who think that this is it, just get me off this planet, you are here. That means you're supposed to be here. That means you're supposed to do something really important. I don't mean something wow to the world. I mean just shifting here, maybe helping people, maybe doing something that you weren't doing, maybe not feeling sorry for yourself or saying this is a horrible place, but realizing it's not. That's one reality, and you can find a reality where you find the meaning. Yes, it will still be uncomfortable to be on this planet. It's not our natural state of being. It's the experiment. It's the test. It's the program. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. These are free. This is my Breakthrough Fear series. Come on over, check it out. If you need to work on this, then do it. I'll see you there. Namaste.